So I want to give you a weekly bit of mindset coaching and education, right? For coaches that are looking to grow their online businesses. One of the benefits of myself is I went through a lot of mental barriers when I first started, and I was able to overcome those. I'm still overcoming a lot of them and also make money in the process, right? So I'm here to teach you how to do that, right? And one of the biggest barriers I had was a fear of money, man. Like a fear, literally a fear of making money. And I realized that I was sabotaging the money a lot because I was avoiding all of the tasks that come with, getting money, that lead to getting money, right? So like actually selling and reaching out to people. I would do it, but I would do it like when it got to a point where like, listen, we got to do this now, right? But I wouldn't just do it off the back straight away. I wouldn't start every day. I just wouldn't put enough effort, time, focus, and priority into these tasks to keep the business flowing, right? And that was until I really identified that this was an issue, started to work on it, and yeah, just started to learn how to just go for it, man. Go towards the bag and not literally dodge the bag as I was doing, right? So I want to help you because a lot of coaches I find go through the same thing. We get coaches from all different walks of life, all different things going on, and one of the recurring themes in a lot of coaches is that they come to work with us because they want to be successful. Clearly, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be paying us any money. They wouldn't be reaching out and going through that process. So they want to be successful, but when they sign up, the minute they get relaxed, it seems like they do everything but get the money. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'll give you a common example. Coaches will put in 80% of the concentration and all of their time and energy into content, right? Content, Instagram, they will live there, right? They will literally live for it. And most coaches do this, I see it. But then they only give 20% to that, if that, to lead generation, to actually having conversations, booking calls. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Whereas we got coaches like Ellie, for example. I'll see if I can put her picture in the thing. And I give her as a good example because she um I put it somewhere else. That's what I was just thinking. I put it in as it's part of our course. I gave the example, but she's not as active with content and stuff like that, just because of her time and her constraints at the moment. But she'll put like most of her energy and time into those things that make the money. So she has the reverse of that complex where she's like, go, she understands, like she's trying to get the bag. You understand? Where a lot of people just have this sort of fear, and it's so annoying because when it comes to I've been there, so I'm not just annoyed at them because I've been there and I understand it. And it's like you only realize it's a problem when it comes to the end of the month and the bills are due, or when it's time to like look at and think, oh shit, like I need to actually make some money now, right? So it's something that if you deal with that, you need to fucking fix it. And if you find yourself getting to the end of each month and thinking like I didn't make enough money, I didn't, do enough, I could have probably done more, I didn't do these tasks. You understand? Or maybe you're not even being accountable like that. You need to fix it, and hopefully this video helps you with that, right? So how do we overcome it? The first thing you want to do, and I'm going to give you a few ways from me, a few things that have helped me. Um, but everybody's unique. Everyone's gonna have a unique experience. But the first thing was I learned to start always identifying what those money tasks were. Okay, so like how I just explained with the case of Ellie and whatever, that you've got content. Content is like a long term keeping the business alive and jumping. It's like a long endurance type of activity. So it does help and it does make money in the long run and it does keep the money flowing. So don't get me wrong, you don't want to just completely stop content, but it's not a direct money now, money in the near future task, right? It's just something that keeps things ticking. And in fact, there's people like I mentioned with Ellie that don't do as much content, although she's picking up now, but they like still make money. How does that make sense? I remember I was posting content every flipping day for 2 years, and I was making all right, like 2K, maybe 3K max, in a month. And then the month that I literally focused on these money tasks and I posted the least amount of content, like I literally went to 5 figures. So that mentor that helped me to do that, and that literally within that 30 days I made 5 figures, literally gave me a Word document, a Microsoft Word document. Imagine paying £500 to mentorship, and if you actually decide, and this was just like a free trial, if I decide to go for it, it's going to be £1,000 a month. And they literally give you a Microsoft fucking Word document. Nowadays, everyone gives, like, everyone's got members areas, they got all the fancy shit, right? But there was literally, and so did my previous mentor, all the fanciest of fucking mentorships, mate. Like, the work, the Microsoft, like the fucking members area, like everything was just fancy, right? But this mentor gave me a Word document, and in 30 days I made more money than I ever had, right? And it was because he just gave me the clear money task. And he said, just do this. Just don't forget about all the other shit. There weren't no content there. There weren't none of that. It was literally just a money task. And by me focusing on that for 30 days, because I had to make good of my guarantee with a person, I fucking smashed it. So you need to do the same. And a lot of times I do that. On this same page where I've got my YouTube notes, I do a lot of writing now, and I start, and every time I'm brainstorming, every now and again I'm writing down. I really write down regularly what are the money tasks for this fucking week. It's Monday. So for this week, I've literally written down the money task, the task that's going to allow us to retrieve and to make the most money, or yeah, make the most money this week. I've written it down. So get good at identifying those, and then it's easier when you see it in plain writing to just flip and focus on doing it. Affirmations is the next one. Okay, so the reason affirmations is important is because there's certain and most mental beliefs and limiting beliefs, right? They are deep, deep within our subconscious. You've probably heard this a million times, but it just means it's buried fucking deep. All right. If you've been doing something your whole life, it's like, for example, I've been, I walk a bit nuts. Like I drag my feet a little bit, right? And I've been doing it from years and years and years. So if you just tell me to stop doing it, it's a bit tricky, right? Now, I've been told for the last, I want to say the last 3, 4 years to stop doing it. I still find myself doing it, but I know that I'm doing it now, and I can collect myself when I am doing it. So, but imagine that, like, for the last 4 or 5 years, I'm aware of this issue, but I still will just go, do you know what I mean? Just go back to default and do it. So it's because it's deep, like it's deep in my subconscious. I've been doing it for a long time. It's ingrained. It's like a fucking tattoo. Do you know what I mean? So you got to kind of either cover it or laser it off, right? So, you know, I would say affirmations are like the lasering or the covering up. But depending on how the way you do it. So what I would do is the start of the day and the end of the day, I would listen to wealth affirmations in headphones or just play it, leave it on my bed, on my pillow. All right. And what I found is that I would wake up with a buzz. I would wake up a bit different. These things will start to live in my mind. I'll start to get more consistent in thinking in an abundant way rather than a scarce way. So, you can read all the fucking books you like. You can do whatever you want to do, right? You can pretend as much as you want. But if you don't go to the deep subconscious or do anything to go to the deep subconscious, then it's going to be fucking hard to change things, all right? We are human beings. We're not robots. You can just click a button and just, you know what I mean? You need to kind of do some deep work. So that's affirmations. The next step is therapy, right? Now, you don't have to do the therapy. There's different forms of therapy. You can get flipping, all sorts of therapy, counseling, mindset coaching, just anything in terms of like talking to someone, bouncing back your thoughts, helping to understand or restructure your thoughts. It's important because now everything's got a root cause. So as much as I'll give you, I can tell you, that what you need to do, and I can tell you how you need to like start tapping into your subconscious. What's the reason that you have this issue with money in the first place? What's the reason you have this fear of making money in the first place, right? And sometimes and usually it's going to be down to maybe like childhood or experiences and stuff like that. And that's where therapy is beneficial to, like I said, talk to someone, bounce ideas off, and them to kind of explain to you, this is why you think or feel like this, so on and so forth. And it's sometimes for me, it's just about identifying it, right? I've only done 4 or 5 therapy sessions in my life. It's not something I do regularly, but I just like the fact that when I've done it, it's opened my mind to certain things. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And I think when you're enlightened about certain things, it takes you to a new height because you never knew this before. But this is something that could be very apparent in your life, something that's really affecting your day-to-day lifestyle, something that happened to you, something that's part of you, and maybe you just thought it was normal or whatever it may be, right? But those breakthroughs can help you to start rationalizing. And I think when we understand things, it helps us, right? So I always love the quote that fear is just what we don't understand. You know, fear it's just something you don't understand, right? So, for example, if you're going on a roller coaster or you're scared of a roller coaster, it's kind of like maybe you don't understand the feeling of what you're about to feel, right? Or maybe you don't understand, the safety mechanism of it, or I don't know what it may be, man. Maybe that's not the best upper thing, but that what's it called? The best example. But I like that quote. We fear what we don't understand, generally, right? Most use cases. Um, so you might have this fear of money, these things or whatever that's going on, but it's mainly because you don't understand why as well. So as you can get to, if you can get to the root cause, that's going to help you overcome it as well. Um, this is and I'm gonna round up with this part now, right? So setting vivid money goals. Now this is a tricky one because if you're not doing all the rest of these things and you keep setting money goals, it can be very annoying because you just don't hit them, right? And you don't hit them because you don't do what you need to do them. So the caveat for this is make sure you do everything first. You do all the other stuff. Then you want to look at your goals. But when you look at these vivid goals, right, about I want to make X amount, you need to like ask yourself why you want those things. You need to really hone in on that first versus just saying I want £1 million for whatever reason. Do you know what I mean? I want 10 whatever you want, right? For whatever reason. Try and hone in on why you want them and then connect the two. So now your goal doesn't just seem like materialistic or just like, superficial to you. It's actually a deep rooted goal. Maybe you want to retire your parent. That's a deep rooted goal. So if you say that, well, I want to make £250,000 and raise it, like, make £250,000 and save X amount because I want to retire my parent, then that's a flipping good goal and it's a goal with a reason. And you're going to have a fire in your stomach to do that because you're not just thinking of it. Look, if you want a Lamborghini, that's fine, but that's not the reason you're particularly doing it, right? So set vivid goals, tie them with something that's very important to you, and then write them down every morning and even evening if you can. It's something that I learned from a video I watched. I think it was Grant Cardone or something like that. And listen, I don't even have to like agree with someone to take in what they've said in a piece of advice that they've given and take from that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the case of it. Because I don't know, I'm not really big on Grant Cardone, but I heard that I didn't do it at first. I started doing it just randomly and I ain't stopped because I just find that as you write it all the time, you keep writing this goal, keep writing this goal, it's just fucking gonna stick. It's like, listen, this is it now. I'll keep writing this goal. I want this goal. Then fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. You know what I mean? So, but what happens a lot of what I used to do myself is I'll write a goal and then I'll write in some book and then just leave it. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll just live life and I'll just do what I'm doing and I'll just fall into a flow of doing, of doing, of doing. But then I've forgotten about the goal until next time I check on it and I see it and maybe I rewrite it. Like a lot of people write their goal every fucking month or 2 months or once a year. And you think about like, why would you do that? Like, if I keep writing this, it's gonna be at the focus, the full front of everything I'm doing. And that is the best way because that's going to keep me hungry, driven. It's going to allow me to not give up when the times are hard and when I'm tired and so on and so forth, right? So writing it down like a couple times a day, I would really recommend. So I'm going to finish off with this, right? It doesn't matter how you fix it. There's a lot of different ways to fix these things. Obviously, I've given like 4 or 5 different ways of doing it. Um, but there might be different ways. Again, like I said, you could go down the therapy route, you could go down the mindset coaching route, you could go down the flipping whatever. You can take so many different routes, but the main thing that we have here, right, and the main powerful thing about you watching this video is that we've identified something is wrong. So just from the fact of you identifying that something is wrong, we're already a step closer to winning and solving it. It's like and look, it's like a car, right? If my car's acting up, acting up, acting up, and I'm just leaving it. I ain't seeing, I ain't checking, I ain't checking under the trunk. I'm not even driving it, whatever. Then it's just causing issues. There's just something wrong, but I don't know. I don't really know what's wrong. But if I look under the trunk, if I take it to a mechanic and I find out what's wrong with it, now I'm a step closer to fixing it. It doesn't matter what mechanic I take it to, how I get it fixed. I can fix it now because I've identified what the problem is. All right. So with that being said, fix the mind, everything will fall through. It'll come along with that, and definitely fix that fear of money, and business will flourish. All right. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.